So greetings from New Jersey once again. We were just over at the Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. Now I made my way down to what's called the Big Brook Preserve. A lot of cars over here. It took me long enough to get here too. I should have listened to Google Maps, but I chose to go a different way, which took forever. And I took a wrong turn too, but that sounds like a horror movie. Wrong turn in New Jersey. Alright, but there are, you're allowed to collect fossils here. There's a stream up here. I guess it's called the Big Brook. I guess I'm going the right way. We'll see. Well, the cars, I should be hearing any number of people, but we'll see. I got my trowel and my sifting thing here. We'll see what we can find. Yeah, I think I'm going the right way. We'll find out. I've never been here before, but it's been on my radar for a while. You're allowed to collect fossils here. They like shark's teeth and things like that, but they have certain rules, which I might cover in a little bit here, but I'd like to figure out where I'm going. I think the stream is right over here. There's different trails going down to it. Take a little side trail here. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is it's called the Big Brook. Yeah, where do I want to set up though? Well, I see some people up there digging around in, so maybe we'll pull in right here. Oh, bit muddy right here, but yeah, there's a bunch of folks right up there. All right, we'll try here. All right, so ready to get in there in a moment. But I brought my wellies along. Obviously, you could go barefoot, but the website suggested to wear footwear just because there's sharp objects potentially, probably like broken glass. But yeah, I got my sifting screen, my trowel. Actually, this is a gift from a viewer. But yeah, they don't want you to bring shovels here and big sifting screens. They don't want you digging in the actual banks. They don't want you digging like super deep holes. So there's a list of rules on the website. Yeah, so even though you can come here and find fossils and take them home, they have some restrictions on that. And even as to the number you take home. I remember years ago they said you could only take 5 home, but now they've limited it to what you could fit in a 12-ounce can or something like that, so, or like a little baggie. They don't just want you leaving here with bucket loads, so we'll see what we can find. Like I said, I got my little sifter and stuff. This should be fun. I'm hoping we find some cool stuff. We'll see. I think we can go all along the stream here, up to the bridge back there and up. So we'll see. Maybe that's where all the people are. Because the parking lot was full, so must be a lot more people up that way. Might be able to find stuff just looking around too. There's definitely trash with pieces of sharp aluminum and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing in this batch, but we'll keep looking. If we don't find much here, we'll just move on to another spot further down. But yeah, we'll just keep looking. There's my bag. Who knows, maybe there's not a whole lot here anymore. I'm sure a lot of people come here, so maybe it's picked over pretty good. But we're gonna try. I'd like to find like one shark's tooth at least. That'd be cool. Alright, we'll keep trying. I think I may have found something right here. Not a shark's tooth, but definitely not your everyday rock. Let me check the rest of this and I'll show you this in a moment. So that's cool. This is like my third or fourth sift. There's another one. Alright, I'll try to show these to you. Camera focuses. This one has like a little hole on the top of it. You see that? Let's get that to focus right. Maybe not there. Yeah, so that looks like something. Alright. We may have to wait till I get home to identify what some of these things are. I was going to do that this morning before I left. I mean, quick look at like a chart or something of some of the things you could find here. But we'll see. Might have to wait till I get home. I'm just gonna concentrate on finding anything that doesn't look like a normal rock. I really want to find a shark tooth though. We'll see. I found something else. Maybe a piece of a shell or something? I'll show it to you in a minute. Lots of little pieces of quartz. I'll give you a closer look at this later. It looks like a little piece of a shell or something maybe. It's definitely not a rock. But yeah. Alright, let's keep looking. Found a few more of these pieces just laying around. Definitely, I don't think it's any kind of rock. You let me know in the comments what you think. Definitely looks like some kind of fossil shell or something, like a clam or something, I don't know. Leave those there. But yeah, the fossils are coming out of the banks of the stream. So they don't want you digging into the banks, you know, eroding them out. You can see areas of darker color in there and stuff. Of course, there's tall banks on the other side over here too. Alright, I think I'm gonna move down a little bit further towards more rocks. There's a lot of mud and clay right in here. There was a louder group of people up here earlier, but they all left. I think we'll set up shop right up here. That'd be cool if a shark's tooth would just like, boom, right there it is, but you do have to work for them. Oh yeah, right here is where everybody's coming down. Alright, maybe I'll scan the gravel bar here too, see if I can find anything. I know somebody who would love this place. Would love walking along the banks here. That's the PA Creek Walker. Emily, she has a channel. She loves finding rocks and fossils, but she's probably better at it than I am. Alright, I'm going to get back to sifting. I want to show you, there's a bigger hole up here. They want, like I said, they don't want you digging holes bigger than 6 inches. I know it's a lot of rules, but it just helps. If you don't have rules, places like this just get ruined. That's just the reality of it. Right up there's a big hole, but I just thought I saw, it's just a fossil right here. I'll check it out. I think this is. Yeah, this is different, some kind of fossil rock right here. I might have to keep that one. Definitely would say it's a fossil. Yeah, there's definitely some fossils going on there. Alright, not a shark's tooth, but yeah, here's a pretty big hole that someone dug. That's what they don't want you doing. I mean, someone could step into that. See how deep this is. Yeah, it's pretty deep. That almost goes up to the top of my wellies. So that's what you're not supposed to be doing here. But anyway, let's get back to searching. So I did just find this. Let me zoom in on it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a piece of rock. But it looks interesting. Look at it. And what is that? We'll keep it though. And I have found several pieces of glass in here too, so it's probably a good idea to wear footwear in here. Something. Alright, pretty sure I found something here. It's a little log here. I was kind of digging. The water's flowing this way, so I was kind of digging on this side of the log. Thinking maybe the log would catch some things, but yeah, so no shark's teeth, but oh, make sure this doesn't float away. Log isn't really too secure. It's these things right here. They're cylindrical little things. Let me zoom in on them a little bit more. Look at them. It's pieces of them. I think. Do these? I remember reading about these. Do these belong to a squid or something like that? See how it? Yeah, I'll have to look that up when I get home again. But they're perfectly circular. Almost perfectly circular. Cool. But I remember reading about these. I'll have to look those up. More information about those later. But cool. Finding some things. Alright, I just found another one of those. That's even better example. Bring this over here. You can see it already. This one right here. Is it called a belemnite? It almost looks like, look at that. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. That is cool. Like I said, I think that goes to a squid. Squid are super soft, but they have one part of them that's kind of hard. But I could be wrong. Guess I'll double check. But I remember reading about these. But that is a fossil right there, folks. Check that out. That's cool. I'm going to keep digging here. Alright, well, let's move on. There were some other people walking up this way earlier, but see how big this log. Maybe we'll dig around. Oh, that's a big, that log's rooted in there. I think I'm gonna dig, because the current, the current's going this way, so things will get lodged in right there. So I think I'm gonna dig right in here a little bit. No, nothing in this batch. You can see evidence of people digging kind of all over the place. I'm not sure in the mud here is the best place to look. Kind of sticking in more gravelly areas. Cool to look down and see a shark tooth just laying right in the water. Yeah, people were digging over here too. Saw all kinds of footprints, and it's a popular place. Alright, we're just going to keep moving along. I think I've been here for close to an hour already. But there are fossils here. We did find some cool stuff, so even if we don't find a shark tooth, it's not a total bust. That one piece I found was pretty cool. At least I think so. Alright, let's keep heading downstream. And the reality of a place like this is that there could be literally a shark tooth. You could walk right over one. The cliffs get quite a bit taller up here. Let's make our way up here. Alright, I'm going to dig a little bit right in here. I just came down quite a bit. Right there's some huge cliffs up there. There's actually people digging holes in there, not supposed to, but there was somebody up there digging, playing music too, so anyway, two reasons not to be up there. I don't want to bother her and don't want her music in my video, but there's a ton of these fossilized seashell fragments, I'm going to call them here, all over the place. So, kind of looks like, this looks like it's been dug over a bit already, but might be a good place to dig around though, because I think those high cliffs up there where a lot of stuff is washing out and coming down this way, so all these gravel bars, so maybe we'll focus around here a little bit. Alright, well, I've been working this area here for quite a bit now. I haven't found really anything, just like seashells. So I'm going to head way back up to where I was earlier. Coolest stuff I found today was up there. Plus I need to start heading back that way anyway. So I'll close it on 3:30. I want to pull out of here by 4, I think. So let's make our way back up. So out here is where I found some stuff earlier. Just right up there is where I came down the bank when I first got here. So I'm going to do a few more siftings here, and then we'll have to get on out of here. So let's see if we can wait. Back right behind me is where I found that one little interesting piece. This was down there, looked more fossil-y, but I wasn't finding anything down there, just except like those seashell stuff. So let's try up here again. Alright, but I think that'll be it, folks. I did quite a few more scooping over in that area where I found my favorite one so far. But yeah, nothing else. I'll take that as a cue to start heading on home, I think. But yeah, I'll look up a little more information about this one and insert that into the video here, I think. But yeah, cool. Almost looks like a tooth, but it's not. Alright, cool. Never found one of these. So it is a couple days later, and I was correct when I used that word belemnite. There is belemnite and squids for what we have right here. So we found that cool thing, yeah. Belemnites and squids belong to a diverse group of cephalopods. I won't read all that for you, but yeah. There's different types of them here. And exactly as to what this is. Squids possess an internal support called a pen. That's what this is, which is made of a proteinaceous chitin. This is only rarely preserved. So cool. So I'm not sure exactly which species we have here. There's several here. There's this one. I'm not going to pronounce all these names. But yeah, I think ours looks most like this one, maybe. There's a couple different kinds, or maybe that one up there. So yeah, that's what it is. From an ancient squid. But yeah, so I think that'll be it. I could spend more time here, but I would do quite a bit of a drive to get home yet. So I will get back onto the New Jersey roads. One of these days I got some questions for, if you live in New Jersey, I have some questions for you about the way some people drive here. It's not I'm not bashing on the state, but there's, anyway, I'll get, maybe at one of my mail time and chat videos I'll talk about that, but yeah. All right, but we're gonna head on out. Thanks for coming along. If you do come here, there are fossils here to find. If you could spend several hours here, maybe find more than what I did, but there's definitely stuff here to find. If I'm ever in the area again, I will come back. And it is kid friendly here. Like I said, I would just have them wear footwear though. I did find glass here in the creek. I mean, you can find glass in a lot of creeks, but it's in here, so. All right, but thanks for coming along. Found a couple of cool fossils, but hopefully we'll see you on the next one.